Today we're talking about April 29th, 2000. Where were you? What was going on? And I have here Kendra and I have here Louise. Where were you in 2000 and how old were you?
In 2000, I was dating somebody and ended up getting pregnant with my daughter. We went camping and just living a very fun life outside of social media and all kinds of things that are happening nowadays for living life outdoors.
Where was I? Let's see, graduated 99. I was a transfer student, local community college. Just the prereqs. Nothing exciting, it's Lancaster. Boring Lancaster in the 90s, 2000s. Not much to do. Yeah.
Oh.
I was boring back then.
Kendra and I were in the year 2000. We were just like popping babies, so I had a toddler and an infant at that time, and Kendra had her first daughter. According to the Billboard charts of April 29, 2000, okay, Maria from Santana, that was in. Weeks on the chart was 4. Weeks at number 1 was 4. Weeks on the chart was 12. So I do remember this being in heavy airplay.
I hate that freaking song.
And then that Breathe song from Faith Hill. He Wasn't Man Enough for Me. Number 3 from Toni Braxton. And then the thong song. Did you guys like these songs?
I mean, they were catchy. I don't remember really focusing on like a particular band. The only one that really calls out to me is No Doubt. But I'm wondering, is it around the 2000s? Probably was, right?
For me, I remember all of those songs, but I wasn't like in love with them. I think, like she said, it's probably because it was more catchy. It was like got people's attention. Can we talk about the Maria Maria song? Yeah. I used to think that she was like walking around the town helping people. And they said, Maria Maria, no joke. They would say she was the mommy of the West Side Story or whatever it is. And then it sounded like she was helping people. And then I found out she wasn't. I found out it was like I don't know. You guys must know, right?
No, I don't. And it's funny you say that because
very insightful.
She said West Side Story, and I'm thinking of the movie West Side Story.
Well, I heard from several sources that she was a prostitute. And I was like, that's not true. And then I Googled, and I think Google kind of said something like that too. So, anyhow, so that was a popular song, and I guess it's about some kind of girl that's trying to make her money. And I'm like, what? And it was popular, and everyone's singing to it.
It's funny. I had this conversation with Tony recently about how back then he was trying to say that music back then was pretty raunchy. And I'm like, but they said it without the vulgar words, without the real, like nowadays, all the words are in it. I mean, it's just like, you can't even have your kids listening to the same music on the radio. But back then, okay, maybe there was like, you would know there was something going on, but like they could say it very PG-13.
That's so true. Because there were songs that I listened to growing up, and now that I'm older, I'm like, whoa, she just said it's a hotel we knew well. I'm like, what? And then when you're a kid, you're just singing it. You don't even realize. Yeah.
But it's cleaner. The words were cleaner.
A lot cleaner.
Even though maybe the meaning wasn't.
Not the rap, though. The rap was not clear.
Speaking of this, actually, this is in 1992, and you were around. It was our 6th grade dance. We were about to graduate from 6th grade because back in 1993, 6th grade was an elementary school. They played, I think it's from Boys to Men, or I don't know who it was, but the Freaky With You song. We were 6th graders, and they played that song. And we were singing that in full vocal, and we had our teachers there. And I don't know how they
allowed it.
Why? You don't remember?
I do remember. It was Let Me Lick You Up and Down.
Sorry, kids. Could you just cover your ears for a sec?
April 29, 2000, what was in when it came to movies? One of them, which was Erin Brockovich with Julia Roberts, 28 Days with Sandra Bullock.
I don't like what's happening here.
Well, wait a minute. Let's try to use a feeling word.
I'm pissed.
And Love and Basketball. And then the Flintstones Viva Las Vegas.
Back with the movies back in the 2000s, we didn't used to just sit down and order a movie on Amazon. We would go to Blockbuster was a big thing. If you were hanging out on a Friday night, you wanted to get a movie, you would just go to Blockbuster and look through all the movies. And then you'd be lucky if you had your movie behind the little picture that they had. But sometimes you'd pick a movie that you really like and all the movies that were behind it are gone. So the picture's just left. So it wasn't so convenient back then just to pick a movie and watch it whenever you feel like it. But it was a lot of fun because then you'd buy popcorn or candy and you just go home and relax and watch the movie. And you'd be all excited to put it in the DVD player, or it was DVD in 2000, right?
DVD was still new. But I remember in Blockbuster, when you would go, you had to make sure, like on a Friday night, Saturday night, you had to go early or else they'll get the good ones. Like
That's true.
new movies that would came out, like they'll have like extra copies, of course, but you better hurry up or else you're screwed if you get there at 9 o'clock. I don't know if this happens to you guys.
No, that's true. That's what everybody would say. You got to go early.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't get it.
I am going to share a video, and it's a video that I took. Like, I think at this time, like, I didn't see you in like probably 3 years.
It had been a few years.
Yeah, I was 19. You just turned 19, and I was gonna go visit you, and I had my kids with me.
But
So,
why were you guys see each other for 3 years?
oh, go ahead.
What happened?
She was busy having babies.
Okay, so it's just because you guys were like close in distance, but just babies happened.
Babies happen.
Okay.
We didn't have a fallout. It's just like distance. And then at the time, there was no social media, no cell phones. There was no way to contact her.
Especially when we moved. Yeah.
Yes, and she moved around a lot too, and I did too. So back in the days, like it was harder to keep contact with people.
And you change your phone number. Like it was a lot of landlines. So
Yeah.
You weren't using those landlines, and you move, change your phone number. They change their phone number. So yeah, you lose contact.
This is Porter Ranch, driving down on Devonshire. You guys hear the music? I was bumping. I had a little radio inside the car, a little stereo. See, Porter Ranch. And I had a camcorder just like recording with a light, like not sus at all. I sound like a kid. I managed to get out. I had 2 kids, a toddler and an infant. 9 o'clock in the evening. I was not the best time. That's your apartment.
That was mine.
Was this a school night? Just wondering.
I think you know.
Oh, the kids were too young. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's me.
I haven't heard that word in a long time. Okay, you guys were dolled up. Where were you guys going? So
That's me. That's me.
Yeah.
who were you on the phone with, huh? See, I spoke differently. What the heck? You guys were talking to Melissa. Look how different Marsha spoke. So while Louise is in college, we were doing this.
It was a lot more.
As you could see, like we were not productive at all.
It's now 12 o'clock in the morning.
I still had children now.
The kids are wide awake.
My parenting.
No wonder why they were crying at 9:30 p.m.
I think you guys had a goal that you guys wanted to go somewhere, and then I guess it didn't happen, and somebody's car broke down, and
Oh.
you guys were dressed up, ready to let
Been
out.
on the phone for what, hours?
Yeah, and you guys didn't go anywhere. Like, it's a whole nother phone.
Yeah, that phone was big.
And both of you were on a phone.
Okay, my impressions of this video are, my goodness, is that an old video? I guess can't be too excited about what you were doing when you were in your 20s. No one's super proud. But I do realize that that was in style back then. And I liked the style at the time. I had all my friends and I was living on my own and no kids. And I was just doing whatever I felt like doing. Wasn't thinking of kids.
You guys look full of life, vibrant, fun. And you guys still aren't those things. It's just a trip to see you guys like so young and like
And ugly makeup.
no, you guys were gorgeous. You guys are stunning, and you guys are still beautiful. Yeah, like just wow. No, you guys were gorgeous. You
Thanks.
guys still.
I feel my makeup was terrible, but that's okay.
That was the time
That
and the
was-
place.
It was
where
in
you-
style at the
That
time.
was the-
And at the time, I did think it was pretty. So, I mean, the lipstick to me was too dark now. Like, I don't wear dark lipstick at all. So it's so like, I feel so, I'm looking at it, it's so gothic looking almost, but it was in style.
It was beautiful.
We should get our makeup and actually do a challenge and try to do our makeup the way we did before. Get the black eyeliner and then just like put it around our lips and make them bigger than they actually are, because that was like a thing. At least for me, it was.
Remember that party you had? What was it? 80s party? That was a lot of fun.
That was a 90s party.
That was a lot of fun though.
It was a lot of fun because we got to dress up and you got to dress the way you were as a teenager at like literally like our peak time.
One of these days, we'll do our before and we'll just like do our makeup real quick and show people our after. Just
Our
for fun.
before and after. It's like, oh no, leave it as before.
I know nowadays. Yeah, but let's try to like replicate it one time just for fun.
Okay, so April 29, 2000, that was the date of the video. And one thing I do have to say, I'm looking at the old photos from 2014, 2013, and 2015, and I noticed that like we considered new, like the furniture and all that, like it looked modern, it looked nice. But now that I look at the photos, I'm like, oh my God, like the kitchen looks old, like it looks like granny dated. Our cubicles look dated. If I was to go sit there today, I know it looked nice back then, but it looks old.
Yeah, totally. Like it almost feels like you're in the 80s. It's so old. Everything's more modern now.
I can compare it to, you know, when you're looking at a Zillow, right? You're doing a house inspection or something, and you look at the old, Zillow only has the old pictures, and it's got like the ancient carpet. Like immediately you know, wow, that is 70s, 80s carpet. Or
Green.
it's got that tile. Remember that tile, that square, patchy with the brown grout
Ew, with
kitchen?
orange.
And so when you see it, you're like, well, that's really old. You guys had jobs, like cubicle jobs back then?
Upperhound was a cubicle job, so
I was thinking very modern vibe nowadays. Yeah.
I was happy. Those were happy times. Golden moment.
We had lots of snacks, kinds of fun things, and
That was the best.
yeah,
It really was.
something out of the blue as far as the 2000s. Did you guys have cell phones back then?
I don't even remember having a cell phone. No, did you? We were on the big bulky phone. I don't think we had a cell phone till, I want to say I didn't get a cell phone maybe around that year, maybe a year later. I don't remember.
I think pagers were still in style.
It was starting to die out, but I do remember getting a cell phone in the late 2000s, and it was a Nokia. And I clearly remember that there was a game called Snake, and it was a little squirrely line that would turn around the screen.
Would you get bigger and bigger?
Yeah, it would get bigger and bigger. Snake can't not touch itself.
There's money to be made in a wireless world, and lots of it. Right now, there are almost 500 million cell phone subscribers on the planet. Within 2 years, that could double to 1 billion.
I remember it used to be the thing to do to like cruise the boulevard, like Sepulveda Boulevard, or do you remember the other one?
Van Nuys Boulevard, right?
Van Nuys, Sepulveda, but there was one more.
Whittier?
Sunset.
Stuff like that. Yeah, it was like popular to cruise like Sunset Boulevard, all these places, and you just go in cars, and a lot of people would get like old school cars and just cruise, and they'd get a lot of attention. Guys and girls would be talking at the gas station, and they'd be finding out where the next party is. There were also party lines that you could call and find out where the party was, and you'd call and they say the party tonight is going to be here. There were a lot of house parties, and people would show up. It was actually kind of a time where people were trying to meet up, because nowadays, like, we're on a lot of social media, but back then you were craving to meet up with people, and you're young and just wanting to like have like fun, you know, even though I didn't drink either.
Seems like that time frame was definitely in the valley, like a lot of fun. I was asking Tony, like, hey, what were you doing in 2000? And he was like, oh my God, that was like the best years, some of the best years of his life. He clearly remembered where he was, what he was doing. And I was like, okay, well, what about music? What about clothing? And he was like, oh yeah. My world was very different than your guys' world.
Because we were San Fernando Valley girls, born and raised.
Your guys' world was a lot more exciting, vibrant, fun.
Yeah, and we had Valley Girl talk. Girls were saying like a lot. So much has changed. So much has changed.
Literally, it was a quarter century ago.
I never really felt old until now, until you said it was a quarter of a century.
Nothing to say, but it was nice sharing our stories.